What's up, everybody? We're here. We made it. Happy Monday. I'm very tired. I missed last Wednesday's stream because of some car trouble, and how's it going? What's up, everybody? I'm still having some car trouble, so that's why it's kind of the reason why I'm late. It's just in the shop, nothing terrible. It'll be fine. But how are you guys doing? Welcome. Happy Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. This stream is going to be a little bit shorter just because it's later for me, you know. But I'm still going to have a good number of lists. We have 6 lists today. We're going to have 2 members, and then we're going to have 4 non-members. The way that the stream, what's up, Odd Potato? Good to see you. Come on in. The way that the stream works, if you're unfamiliar, is what will happen is there's a post in our community tab at Wednesday Night Warhammer, the YouTube page itself. I'm going to ask for you to copy and paste your list from whatever app that you use and post it as a comment in that thread. And I'll get to it eventually, you know. Every single week we normally do around 8 lists, but this week, of course, is going to be a little bit shorter just to help me not fall asleep at the computer. So in addition, if you would like a little bit more priority with your list being reviewed, if you got a tournament that you want to make sure you want to hear my thoughts on or whatever, is consider becoming a member. Members get a little bit of priority. I normally get to almost all of the members the next stream that they're posted, if that makes sense. However, I do have one member, Donat. He did another post, and it's incredible. He's fantastic, of course. However, for members, for the same specific member, I'm just gonna have there be a week in between, you know, and I think that's fair so that everybody gets a little bit more space and it's not the same person. So not 2 weeks in between for members, but whatever. Anyways, we're here to talk about Tyranids. I'm excited to review some lists. So let's get going. It's good to have everybody in chat. Let's take a look. All right, sweet. Here we are. Look at this. This is our first one. This is Haas9345. Thank you so much for being a member. We really appreciate it. He's the first up today. Ooh, some oil. Cold weather is the worst for car trouble. It just had a battery. Ooh, it just had an oil line burst. Luckily, it was a quick fix. Incredible. Okay, good. And bugs. Yes. Fantastic. Okay, so this is Haas's list. It's 2K, Invasion Fleet. He says, hey, I just thought I'd throw my list out. I've only played into T-Suns, but old one killed Magna. So maybe old one I killed Magnets. What's up, Nix? Good to have you. Yeah, I'm glad you can make it too. So old one eye. If this is not an old one eye in the list, okay, there we go. We're good. Do not worry about any changes. I own almost every Tyranid model that's legal. Most I have multiple of. Me too. Yep. I went overboard a little on collecting. Nope, you went exactly. You when you start a project, you finish it, man. And so that's exactly what you did. Incredible. Let's take a look at this list. Invasion Fleet, love it. Hive Time with Adaptive Biology, Narrow Tyrant, and Old One Eye. Battle Line. Hormigons. Chat, I promise you I'm not going to immediately, well, we'll see actually, I don't know. Biovore, double Carnifexes. Interesting on the Heavy Venom Cannon and the Scything Talons. In my opinion, if you're going any kind of melee, I think maybe you do Crushing Claws on this, but I'm going to get back to this. I think we probably want the DAC effects instead of these, but let's look at the rest of the list, see what's going on. Triple Exocrine, Double Lictor, Maliceptor, Raveners, Tyrannifex. Okay, there's some cool stuff in there. The thing is, here's my thought, and I love it, and we're gonna keep the old one eye brick. I would recommend 4 Death Spitters on each of these guys. It's just a whole bunch of shots, and they just mow through everything, especially when you're Invasion Fleet, when you get like a procs on the 6s with sustained hits. If you're chilling next to the Hive Tyrant, you could get sustained and lethals. It's a very, very good time with that. So I would recommend the loadout, and you're doing good with the Spine Banks and Bioplasma. I would recommend the quadruple guns like that. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm worried about. And this list is not far off, if I'm being honest with you. It's pretty good. We need more of this, you know? And I know the Carnifexes are pretty cool, and they don't do terrible in combat. However, if we don't have things that are going to block our opponents from getting into combat, it can be kind of tough. Because if they're able to get into our Exocrines, tie them up, or, you know, our Maliceptors or whatever, it's not exactly what we want. So in my opinion, I'm looking at cutting 1 or 2 monsters. What would be cool is if we had double Tyrannifex. I like the Maliceptors, but at this point, if we're having triple Exocrine and then the Carnifex Blob, it's a whole lot of shooting. So for old One Eye, I think maybe we drop 1 Exocrine. And I know that's kind of crazy. My thought process on that is that the Carnifex is, well, especially if we change the shooting. If we change to the shooting platform that I'm talking to, I think we make this change. The Exocrine, it's not, you know, it's not only for the reroll ones to hit, but that's a really good case for it, is for the Exocrine to shoot, and then you have reroll ones to hit. Now, if you have Carnifexes chilling with our homie, the homie in question right here, of course. If you have Carnifexes chilling with homie, you don't have to worry about an Exocrine shooting because they're rerolling everything. So what I'm going to do is, I think right off the bat, we're going to cut 1 Exocrine, which makes me feel gross, you know? And then we're going to cut 1 Maliceptor as well. That's going to put us at 305 points. And the object of this, it is opposite day, yes. But by the fact I just said it's opposite day, What does that mean? Okay. What we are wanting to do is we want to kind of dictate when we are going to fight and when we are going to shoot. And I'm just going to make sure that we can do that with, you know, some gribbly guys. What I would like, chat, stop saying gargoyles incoming. Stop. Okay, but yeah, gargoyles are coming in. Gargoyles are coming in. All right, check it out. So we have gargoyles times 10. We have gargoyles. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's do this. Chat, you can't. Okay, times 10. So that's going to be 130. So that means we have 175 points left over. Now, the thing that I also wanted was I also wanted to be able to fit a second Tyrannifex. And I'm assuming that this is Rupture Cannon, not the Flesh Borer Hive. Rupture Cannon. What if you don't own any? Chansey Ricky. If you don't own any, well, then play with what you got, you know? Or maybe play on TTS and see what's happening with that. Okay. So what was I thinking about? All right, now that, okay, so real talk, honestly, 85 each. Ooh, you are right. I'm so sorry. I did it backwards. I did backwards math. So we had 305, so that means 170, so that means 135. Yeah, I did it. 305 means 170, 135. That should be right. Right? Yeah, oh yeah, because basically we're trading a mouse scepter for two, whatchamacallit. Let's see. And then I think one thing that we do, I almost said doo-doo. One thing that we do change is now that we have these guys, as long as we are playing them well, I think we only need 2 squads. But we really do need to be efficient. That's going to get us to 200 points here. And I believe we had 10 left over, so it's 210. This is shaping up pretty quick because, and honestly, it's only because the core of the list is pretty good, and I've played a list similar to this, and I think it's pretty good as well. We're going to copy in a second Tyrannifex, and this is going to drop down to 20 points, and we're going to see if we can do any meaningful enhancement shopping, and I don't think so. Is Alien Cunning is 30, right? Yeah, I think so. If Alien Cunning is 30, then we don't do anything. I mean, I guess we could do the perfectly adapted. Yeah, we'll just put perfectly adapted on this fella. And then that will put us 5 away from 2K. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's not bad. I'm being DM'd by the producer. Jeez. Hi, Dylan. I'm live. Okay, let's see what chat's doing. Ben, what a great name. If I'm too new and or dumb, oh, be nice. Can I just submit some general things I think look cool and you make it work somehow? Yeah, I'd love to try and do that. Just submit what you have, or maybe submit what you are excited or want to build towards, and then give me a point total, and then we can figure something out. If you haven't already, join the Discord. Discord's incredible. In fact, let me see if I can do this in chat. Did that work, or do I have to do Discord exclamation mark? We'll see. I'm going to do both. Okay, I think that one. There you go. Join our Discord. There's some good stuff in there. We talk a lot, and it's just a lot of good brains getting together. Woo! Finally taking Warrior Bioform to an RTT Saturday. Hopefully they can do well. Good luck, man. It sounds like a lot of fun. Going to LVO with Assimilation Swarm with no gargoyles and 2 Harspecks with a Norn. I've been really liking Assimilation Swarm, honestly. It's very fun. And fingers crossed that another catastrophe doesn't happen to my car or anything. I will be there Wednesday playing Assimilation Swarm. So check it out. It should be 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Same channel. Oh, you are on Discord? Different name? Sick. Love to hear it. But yeah, I like this list. Another thing you can do, you could maybe look at Raveners to change out for another screening unit or shift around points. It's a good list. It's fine. I like it. Old One Eye is very fun. I was never the best at using him, but I know some people have some really, really good success with it. Calixtron, member as well. Very cool. Amazing. Hey Jordan, extremely new Warhammer player here. So glad to have found your channel. For context, I found the hobby at the beginning of October, and I have maybe played 10 total matches of the game as a whole. That's still pretty good, honestly. I've tried a few factions now, and I've by far found the Tyranids and their synapse mechanic the most tactically interesting. I started off playing at 1,000 points. This is the first version of the list I made for 2K. I've watched a bunch of your videos and open to all of your feedback, but I've got to say I find the Genestealer models extremely ugly. Ouch. That's okay, I'm not a Genestealer. And wouldn't want to build or paint them without a major redesign. Fair, even if they are good. Fair. The core of the list I stumbled into after getting creamed by Orcs, Nurgles, and Necrons. That's a pretty like diverse little group there. That's kind of cool. General strategy has been to fly all my battle line to their deaths up the middle and march all my bigger stuff in to clean up after. To be quite honest with myself, I really don't understand what I'm supposed to do or be doing with the battle line in any faction. Love some tips on what the general strategy is there. Okay. I play on TTS with friends and will eventually build in plastic, but for now, I'll go crazy since pixels are free. Amazing. And I don't feel like I've talked about it enough. I haven't recommended TTS enough. Go check out Tactical Tortoise. He has a whole series of videos explaining how to set up Tabletop Simulator. I think he posted that a while ago. So sorry, I just lost my train of thought. He posted it a while ago, so I'm sure some of it is maybe a little bit changed, but all intents and purposes, I would really recommend checking out his like kind of catalog of stuff on how to play on TTS. It's very good, and TTS can be a great tool, even if you're just playing TTS by yourself, and like deploying and stuff, and figuring out how where your army fits. If you like the look of your army, even when it's on the table, that can be a really good tool for you just playing by yourself. Okay, cool. So Tyranid list version 6. Paul. Incredible. Thank you for joining the Discord. Really appreciate it. Awesome. Glad to have you. Okay, so our invasion fleet. Warlord is the Neurotyrant. Interesting. And I think we got perfectly adapted, adaptive biology, synaptic linchpin. Okay, so pretty much. Okay. All right, so pretty much right off the bat, in my opinion, especially if we have a Neurotyrant, which I feel like we should almost always have a Neurotyrant. If we have a Neurotyrant, we don't need synaptic linchpin. So I am going to right away, without looking at the rest of it, I'm just going to assume we're going to have 20 points at the end, which is great. That's good. We're making money already. Maybe addicted to enhancements. Oh, is this you, Calix? Oh yeah, Calix. Awesome. No, I really appreciate. This is not a book. I'd love to hear it, dude. Thank you. Sorry. Okay. All right, so cool. We've got Neurotyrant, Hive Tyrant, and I'm assuming this is the Walk Rent. I would do Bone Sword, HVC, which is Heavy Venom Cannon, of course, and then Winged Prime. Cool. We have Zoanthropes, so 6-man, 2 10-mans. 1 unit is attached to Winged Prime. Interesting. Okay. 2 10-man Hormagaunts, 1 Exocrine, 2 Tyrannofexes, Norn, Barbgaunts, and Von Ryans, and 2 Lictors. Okay, cool. Awesome. So if we are just having the Tyranid Prime to attach to the Gargoyles, I am probably going to ask him very politely to sit out of this one, if you know what I mean. Because Gargoyles with sustained hits is okay. I don't know. It's kind of, especially when you had Synaptic Enhancement on or whatever. So it's a bunch of points that I feel like, and I agree with you, is probably going to die pretty quickly with Gargoyles. So we're going to drop the Winged Tiered Prime right off the bat. So we'll be at 85 points. Cool, cool, ka-choo. Let's see. What other things am I wanting to do? I do like the double lictors. I think that is cool. Oh, 2 Tyranid effects. I think I saw that. All right. And we'll just clean this up just to make sure. And I'm gonna do this just for my own like housekeeping, just so that I can see stuff. It makes sense. If not, that's okay. Does anybody have any like list stipulations we want to add to our random list thing? It's not going to happen tonight, but if you have a list stipulation that you want me to maybe take a look at and play on stream sometime, send it in. Maybe, you know, could be cool. All right. So Exocrine, we actually have a lot of battle line here. Like 4 battle line is not terrible, but it is to the point where it is a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do right off the bat is, I'm saying that a lot, we're going to drop the Hormigons. And this is going to get us to 150 points, I believe. Chat, check my math if you want. Okay, cool. So 150 points, and I actually really like this. And then another thing that Calix said, before we dive in, they were talking about being worried about sending your battle line to death. And that is actually a lesson that I kind of had to take a second and learn, because there was times where I would try to move block something and it wasn't exactly triple gargoyle. It wasn't exactly, they weren't exactly doing what I wanted, because they would just die for no reason. So I've kind of talked to this in an extent in my how to beat melee armies with move blocking and stuff. But before you move block something, check with your opponent. Say, hey, my intent is for this squad of gargoyles to wrap up like this in front of your scary 8-bound or whatever, and make it so that you can't move here, here, and here. And then have your opponent say, yes, but I could do this, or no, or whatever, and check. Because the worst thing you want to do is commit your gargoyles. Yes, they're only 85 points. However, they're 85 points that, you know, you have to still spend 85 points for. So if they die and then it ends up like they didn't do the job that you wanted to do, it's really not good, you know? So you can throw them out to die, but also be careful. In addition, really, I would kind of, I would ration out your gargoyles or your battle line units. Odds are you can accomplish what you want to with only 1 gargoyle squad or only 1 Hormigont squad to move block. However, if you send out both of your screening units at once, and then you're not setting up yourself for just a decimating turn for your opponent, and the next turn, it can be really tough. When they just kill all of your screens, then you won't be able to block the next turn, and then they kill your important stuff. So what I would say is double check that the unit is doing what it needs to by move blocking or scoring points or whatever, and double check with your opponent. That's always good communication. You just say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Does it look like I'm doing that? And then second, ration your battle line stuff. Don't just randomly send them out to die. Make sure that they have a purpose. And if they're not really doing anything that turn, then just wait, you know, just hide them and then threaten for another turn for objective stealing or anything. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Back to the list. All right. So since we are in Pixel Land with TTS, I'm actually not a huge fan of the Norn Assimilator in Invasion Fleet, because one of the biggest things about it being durable is it has the 5-up Feel No Pain when you're on objective. However, with Invasion Fleet, you can just give it a 5-up Feel No Pain. For at the moment, like classic Jordan in stream, I'm gonna cut the Norn Assimilator. I'm sorry. So 275 plus 150. Oop, I should have got my calculator up before I do that. I'm tired. I'm not. And plus, doing like tired math in front of a stream, I don't know if you guys have done that before, but it is tough stuff. So we have 425 points. That's quite a bit of points, and I'm happy to see that. Things that I think are good is the double Tyranid effects. Since you are on TTS and kind of like cost is not an issue, and also I think that these units will be incredible for hopefully the remainder of the edition. I'm going to recommend 2 more exocrines and really just play around with triple exocrine. You'll probably like it. You'll probably like it. Minus 135, minus 135, minus 135. So we have 20 points after that. Oh my gosh. Um, 20 points. Boom. Okay, so what else are we kind of missing? And then this is 55 points, I believe, just in case. Oh, it's right there. Silly me. What else we got going on? Oh, so we have zoanthropes and double Tyrannifex. Would we not be worried about anti-vehicle? Maybe. You tried the monster detachment, got rinsed. Yeah, I think it is okay. So you only commit when you're like really, really committing, you know? And I've talked about like this idea of people can't kill all of us, or if you send stuff out, if you send everything out and you do it like in a relatively smart way, odds are your opponent can't kill everything, you know? So here's what I would do to kind of wrap up this list a little bit. So we have 20 points. I like Von Ryan's Leapers as infiltrators to screen out your infiltrate, to make your opponent not be able to, you know, infiltrate anywhere. And you can do this in a relatively safe spot, or you can do what I'm about to suggest and get Alien Cunning, which is the redeploy after. I think we're going to do that. So we're going to drop this and put Alien Cunning, which is 30 points. We had 20 left over, so that means we'll have 5 left over. I actually really like the Von Ryans with Alien Cunning. You screen out, like in the middle of their board, with Infiltrate with the Von Ryans, so they can't do anything. There is a lot of Infiltrate stuff in the meta right now, so it would be a good idea to kind of deter that. And then before, you know, who goes first or whatever, you just scoop them up and put them somewhere safe. You measure to see if they can get containment turn 1 or any other secondaries, or you can kind of just leave them there and say, hey, deal with these Von Ryans or else they're going to come get you. But this is good. And I remember we don't like Gene Stealers. Okay, so the only other thing that I would think about is finding points to get rid of these zoanthropes for the Gene Stealers to have like a melee threat. Which that's kind of something that I would like. However, I have thought about playing a list like this where it's just kind of like, we're going to shoot you, and what are you going to do about it? And I think this is cool as well, especially with all the battle line being able to move, block, and stuff. Barbgons, I'm not a huge fan of, but I do think they can be really good into specific matchups, like coming in from strategic reserves and really lighting something up for a moment, or if they're hanging out with our friend the Hive Tyrant, getting those advance and then lethals and sustain or something like that could be kind of sweet too. I'm just not a fan of their low AP or actually like lack thereof. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I think this is the direction that I would take. I would play probably 5 games with this or something like that just to see how it plays. I like the Lictors, Von Ryans. That's actually the combo that I'm running right now too. It is 2 Lictors and 1 Von Ryan. All right, sweet. Moving on. Quick stream today. We've got Ryu. I agree. Von Ryan's rule. They're very underrated. And infiltrating is such a cool rule. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's one of the rules where, like, I feel like you have to play more, and it's kind of like a high skill ceiling. So the better the more you play at it, the better you're going to get. Yeah, absolutely, Calix. Thanks for your support. And it's great to have you in chat. Before we move on, if you're hanging out, you know, like the stream. Appreciate it. Liking it really, really helps. And yeah, thanks for being here. Ryu 6724. Orcs and dwarves hate Barb, though. I agree. I'm not saying like they're, you know, I don't think they're unplayable or anything. I just haven't played them for a little bit. And, you know, maybe it's one of those cases where maybe I should try them and play them. Here we go. And this was his updated list. Ryu did something really good that I encourage you all to do. If you have a list that you've submitted, but it's a couple of weeks or whatever since I've, if it's been a couple of weeks since I've gotten to it, I would recommend commenting and replying to your own thread and saying, hey, this is actually the updated list. If you have a change to your list, otherwise, if you edit it, I'm worried it shifts where it was in the timeline, which would also put you further back in the queue. So just reply to your own comment as opposed to editing it. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but I wouldn't, whatever. That's what I would do. Let's take a look. We are in Invasion Fleet 2K, absolutely. And we have Death Leaper, very cool. We haven't had Death Leaper in a while. Adaptive Biology, Psychic Scream, double Gargoyles. We have 1 Biovore, Lictor, Neurolictor, 1 Pyrovore, 6 Zoanthropes. I forget if he had a footnote or anything. Let's just take a look. 1 Exocrine, 1 Maleceptor, 1 Norn Emissary, Tyrannifex. Okay. Cool. So I know what... Oh no, chat. How many points are we at? Are we exactly at 2,000? We're at 2,000. Okay, so a couple of things. We're just going to do a little bit of some early shifts just to make some room for points. Cyan, no, don't say it like that. Okay, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to take out Death Leaper. I do like Death Leaper. However, when we also have a Lictor that's 60 points, it's like, I don't know. Like, is his little -1 aura worth it? Does that really push us to want to play it? I don't know. Maybe. I'm just feeling double Lictor is going to be better than Death Leaper. And it saves you 20 points. I love my Norn. I try to use it often. I love my Norn too. I even got one commissioned by Your Next Cool Mini. You should check them out. Your Next Cool Mini. But anyways, here's the thing about these monsters. I really like having at least 2 Exocrines. Honestly, I've been moving towards 3 Exocrines besides. And that's why I'm kind of looking at the Norn, and I think the Norn is all right. I have seen a lot of people with some pretty good success with a Norn and Invasion Fleet. I just think with the Exocrines, we're really kind of looking for a little bit more redundancy. However, for the purposes of this stream, because I'm worried if I make those changes that I'm saying, this list is going to look almost identical to the previous one. So I'm not going to do that because that would be boring. So we're going to keep the Norn, a second Norn. Oh my gosh. We are going to keep the Norn, but we are going to make some cuts. In my opinion, right now, especially in Invasion Fleet, I would rather have 3 Lictors than 2 Lictors and 1 Neurolictor. We need to have an Exocrine intervention. We're worried about your Exocrine addiction. No! Leave my Exocrines alone. Okay, so I'm going to take out that Neurolictor. I'm going to change it into Norns Are Us. Incredible. Another Lictor, and then we will be at 50 points, which is a good starting off point. We are not going to touch the Norn. Gosh. Good Lord, chat. Yeah, sorry, Calix. If I was smart, I would have like a Google Doc that I would share at the end of every stream or something, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm sorry about that. But I would just, he has too much shooting. Challenge: make a list without gargoyles or Exocrines. Woo! So I think not next week, but in a couple weeks, I'm going to do another stipulation thing where we roll the random spinning wheel. If you would like a stipulation added to that wheel, let's do this. If you want, send a super chat in with the title of your stipulation, and I'll add it to this the spinning wheel. But no Exocrines, no gargoyles might make me cry. I'm not gonna lie. All right, back to this. Well, let's focus on. I'm getting distracted. Here we go. Neurotyrant, Hive Tyrant. I like the 1 Maleceptor. I just want to find room for a second Exocrine before we get in. And I do like the Maleceptor Norn Emissary combo. I think that's pretty strong. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's pretty good because the Maleceptor walks up next to it. Anything within 6 gets -1, so it definitely leans a little bit more into the tankiness of the Norn. It's a really good time. So let's try and figure out what we're going to do in order to keep the Norn and have more exocrines, because exocrines are, I'm a big fan of exocrines right now. I don't know if you guys can tell. So what I'm thinking is the lictor that we just put in. So if we were at 150 points, we had 15 points left over. I mean, we could do that, and that would be pretty much the list. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so if we cut Pyrovore, if we cut Lictor, we are a little bit low on action stuff. I agree, Cyan. That's what I'm thinking too. The only thing that I really like the Pyrovore with is the Maliceptor, because AP2, when anything's in cover, gets kind of tough. It's not the best. So oftentimes I do like including a Pyrovore just to hang out with my Maliceptor or come in from strategic reserves and allow for a stripping cover just to, do that. This is another very intense shooting list. It's kind of cool. I don't mind it. But just going over it again, we have the Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology. We have the Neuro Tyrant, double Gargoyles, Biovore, Lictor, 6 Zoanthropes, double Exocrine, Maliceptor. We kept the Norn, chat. We did it. Double Tyranifex. Oh, I didn't see this. I would probably honestly change this to the Rupture Cannon. My only thought process is the Exocrines are probably going to kill the same things that the Acid Spray is going to want to do. Same with the Maliceptor, and then even the Norn with its shots. Now, and I know a lot of people are saying, well, I want the Acid Spray for the Overwatch. If you have these Zoanthropes and Neurothrope, that is like an incredible Overwatch, especially in Invasion Fleet with sustain hits or lethals or both if you're next to the Hive Tyrant. That with the Zoanthropes and the Neurotyrant's Flamer, it's a disgusting Overwatch. If you haven't Overwatched with a 6-man Zoanthrope attached to a Neurotyrant, you haven't lived yet. Do it. I think you should. Malevolent Swarm, I think so. Because oftentimes I like the ability to have, a variety of what you can shoot into, what you can activate into with these Zoanthropes. And definitely the Tyranifex with the Rupture Cannons allows you to do so. And in addition, in the case where you go up against some T12 stuff, the Zoanthropes oftentimes don't really cut it. Tyranifexes will, for sure, with strength 18. It's just that little extra bump that I think is needed. We do have 15 points left over after that second Exocrine. And what I would do, I guess, we would do Perfect Guides after that. Cool. Awesome. Moving right along. I think that's our third list. Fourth list is Chaos 1 or Zero Chaos 1. I don't know. Should I pronounce the whole thing? Thanks for the view on my Vanguard list. It was very helpful. Incredible. Love to hear it. I have another list I want to make once I got the first one put together. That's the classic story of like Warhammer 40K players. Like you work a really long time on a specific list, and then as soon as you have it finished, you're like, or oftentimes even before you have it finished, you're like, I'm probably just going to do something else. Which, fair enough, Ooh, Crusher Stampede. I think every list in here has been Invasion Fleet so far, so this is kind of sweet. Let's take a look. We have Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant, Gargoyles, 1 Gargoyle chat, Biovore, Lictor, Exocrine, Harspex, Maliceptor, Psychophage, double Tyranifexes with the double Rapture Cannon. Very cool. The idea is the Gargoyles and the Lictors make the early pay for a primary, while my poor man's Norn Emissaries, the Harspexes with Psychophages. Oh, so they're chilling together. Get there for the longer hold. The rest of this list works in the obvious fashion. I think my poor man's Norn is not as good as the real thing, but at the cheaper price point is point for point just as effective. Okay. Cool, let's take a look at it again. Double, Harspex, Maliceptor. So you could have like a pretty big block of stuff with like, if you pair Maliceptor, Psychophage, and Harspex, that's kind of like a meaty brick moving up. Now here's the thing with that. I would I would highly recommend that you play this, and if not play it, deploy it first. Let's see. Okay. Would you believe that I have a psychophage directly behind me? So these bases add up very, very quickly. And let me. I'm standing up. Don't look at me standing up, chat. So if we compare the Poor Man's Norn Emissary, which this is my Norn, it was commissioned by Your Next School Meeting. Very sweet. It's very cool. I feel like I haven't shown it off enough. But anyways, look at this base compared to this base. Now, technically, you would say that this is pretty close, but the shape of this, the oval, is actually pretty annoying sometimes to get around terrain or like get around corners and whatnot. So deploy this list before you play it or before you make any changes. Honestly, make sure that thanks, Calix. I didn't do anything. They painted it for me. It was very cool. But make sure that you have a plan on how to get all of these ginormous bases around, especially if you want your psychophage to move up with your horror specs. And then where are your mouse uppers going, you know? So here's what I'm going to suggest. I actually like the list. I do think the list is cool. I like your idea with the early primary play. I think you just need 1 or 2 more units. So what I would suggest, of course, Alex. Yeah, absolutely. Did I go over your list this week or was it a previous time? I forget. Wow, we got 44 people in here. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. Maybe this later start time is a good time. So I would recommend maybe trading out at least 1 psychophage for another, just 1 or 2 more units. And let's see how many points we're at. Total army points, 2,000 points. Okay, so we don't have any wiggle room. That's fine. Chat, yes, I am thinking about trading out the list does need more gargoyles. Like if we're being honest, it does. So I do like your Poor Man's Norn Emissary. Let's try taking out a psychophage, which is 95 points, and then taking out a horror specs. Make a list with only gargoyles and exocrines. Hey. Don't have to tell me twice. 95 plus 125. Let's see. He does have a rule of 2, which I generally like. However, like a rule of 2 of stuff moving up the field. Oh, does he have a Death Leaper? Uh-oh. Okay, so we could change that into, I don't know. We could change that maybe into, it's 220. It's 115 in Denmark. Awesome. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate the kind words. That's awesome. We're at 220 because we just cut. I like the psychophage and the horror specs plan 1 time. Maybe 2 times we might be getting too clustered. So what we want is we want more scoring units, and we also want maybe a little bit more punch too to help out with the crusher mentality, if you know what I mean. So first we are going to do this. Sorry, chat. It is the stream. We do have double gargoyles, and we have a great time with it. So 220 minus 85, 135. Chat, what is 135 points in Tyranids? What do you think? Any guesses? Any guesses? What's 135 points? I think it's an exocrine. And I'm going to be honest with you. Believe it or not, triple exocrine and Crusher Stampede feels great. It is very good. And I apologize if that is boring, but it is. That's what it is. Exo time. I agree. Oh no. No, not exocrine. It's a lot of Neurogons. I mean, it could be. Yeah, you might be right. So I like this idea. It is an exocrine. So what we've done is we've just kind of taken out the psychophage, traded 10 points for the gargoyles, and then traded out the horror specs for a 3rd exocrine. I think this is neat. I think it is a cool plan, and that's really all I'm going to change with it. We could keep Death Leaper. The only problem is if we take out Death Leaper, we have 20 points left over. None of the enhancements in Crusher really make me want to spend points on them. So yeah. So I would rather just keep Death Leaper as like an extra lictor, and maybe he, punches upwards a little bit, and just kind of chill with it. So I think it's fine. That's what I would do. What's the cost for a Screamer Killer, and is it not good? Is its role already taken in this list? The second thing, I think its role is already taken in the list. I think the Maleceptors, the Haruspecs, and the Psychophage are kind of just going to be these mid-table bullies, and they're just kind of, going to do stuff. Another thing we could look at is changing this Hive Tyrant to a Swarm Lord, which I really like Swarm Lord in Crusher Stampede, but I would suggest playing it as is. Yep. We have Biovore. Screamer Killer is 145 points. You're exactly right. Yep. Oh no, there's a Biovore. Right here. There's Biovore. Boop. Okay. Yeah, of course, Martin. Jackalltrades. All right, here's a Tyranid list I was thinking of taking to a local game store tournament. Incredible. Love to hear it. We are Vanguard Invader, Death Leaper, Broodlord, Hive Tyrant with Venom Cannon, Bone Sword, Hunting Grounds. Cool. Gargoyle, Biovore, Gene Stealer, Double Neurolictor, Tyrant Guard, Ripper Swarm, Moloch, Tyrannifex. Okay. Main idea is Hive Tyrant and Rupture Cannon secure middle of board and act as a big threat and can take some wounds to take out the biggest units on the board. Gene Stealers flank around and kill off infantry. Molochs pop up to deal mortals, and everything else is just scoring, basically. Okay, cool. All right. So chat, we've established the rule in the Wednesday night Warhammer lore. If there's 2 Molochs, we don't touch them. Okay, that's what chat wants, and that's what we're gonna have. Okay, so I'm not gonna touch the Molochs. They're fine. They're there. Okay. Rupture cannons are kind of sweet. I did have somebody, a friend of mine. It is Vanguard Onslaught. A friend of mine actually did some pretty good work with a list not too far off from this. So the Venom Cannon, the Walkrent is interesting. And everything else is just scoring, basically. If Moloch was a newer model, I'd own 8 of them. Whew, man, that's a commitment. Okay, so right off the bat, before really thinking what we need to remove, which is maybe wrong, but we are going to take out the Ripper Swarm and we're going to take out the Tyrant Guard. They're just not really serving too much of a, they're not serving too much for us in this style of list. I really do like what this list has got going on. I think it has a good core. I'm always going to like the Tyrannifexes. There's not going to be a time where I'm going to say, I don't like Tyrannifex in there. But I still think we do kind of need more stuff. The other thing that I would suggest is I think this Hive Tyrant, even though you have this and you want the advance and shoot, I still think the Hive Tyrant serves you better as being a winged Hive Tyrant, like for sure, because you advance and charge with the winged Hive Tyrant. You can still do your strats and everything with it. And the -1 attacks is really good to help out these Gene Stealer bricks. So that's what I would do. We're going to change out the Hive Tyrant for Winged Hive Tyrant. How many points is Hunting Grounds? Let's see, I'm going to race chat. Hunting Grounds is 20 points. So, okay, so that means it's 35-point difference. Wow, great. Amazing. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, 35-point different. Yeah, also it is, so you get extra bonuses on top of that. I agree. So this is going to be 220 points for that. And we're just going to do winged with Hunting Grounds. But also another thing, since we have a winged Hive Tyrant, I think we're going to swap the Chameleonic with the Hunting Grounds. Now, be careful with this Broodlord, all right? Don't... Because Hunting Grounds you kind of want around for a while. And the reason why we're doing that is because Chameleonic with the Hive Tyrant is very good. I think you're always -1 to hit or something. And then with the -1 attacks, it can be just some really good stuff on that. Okay, cool. So that gives us 35 points to play with. So I'm going to add that to here. That means 145 points. Chat, no, we are not putting an X-Screen in this list. We're not. We're not going to do it. So 145 points. What I would want next is I would probably want some more scoring stuff. Swap a Neuro for a Death Leaper. Ooh, that could actually be kind of good. But let's see if we can... Oh, he does have Death Leaper. Okay, great. Okay, good. You know what? Actually, a detachment that I don't mind having only one Gargoyle squad is Vanguard Onslaught. But before we just do that, let's see what we're going to want. I would like also Stalker over Neuronode. No, you're 100% right. Well, Neuronode is 30 points, right? What is Neuronode's 20 points, I think? Jeez. Neuronode is 20 points. So we could, and Stalker is 10. So we could do that. Yeah, I do like that. Good. Who said that? That was a good job. Thank you. Lily May. Awesome. Yep. Okay. So that means we're just going to take our total down by 10. So we'll be at 135. No chat. I'm not doing an X-Screen. We're not doing an X-Screen. Getting Walking Tyrant as Fex support. Yeah, I think so. Like, but the thing is, the assault is good. However, with Vanguard Onslaught, my thought process is if you're playing it well, you should be able to kind of like make your opponent be places where the Tyrant effects can see you, especially by making them worried about these Molochs. You know, if you're able to do that, your Tyrant effects are going to have angles on things where they're going to be able to see. So in my opinion, it should be okay. Now let's see what we want to do with the rest of the 135 points. Now that we have Neuronode with the redeploy, I'm going to want some VRLs. Times 3, and that's going to be 70 points, just to be annoying with the infiltrate and do the same thing that I was talking about earlier with invasion fleets. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, and then 65 points, we are also going to have a Lictor, which would be 60, and then we would have 5 points left over. Yeah, Von Ryans are pretty cool, especially you can like surprise assault them, and then yeah, Malevolent Storm, I agree. 135 2x Hormagaunts would have been cool too as well. I think we're kind of just leaning a little bit more into the Vanguard Onslaught kind of style with this. Now we would come at the point where we have 5 points left over. What we could do, let's try it. So if we delete this, and then we have 30 points over. So sorry, I said delete this without narrating what I was doing. I'm getting rid of one Neurolictor. We have 35 points left over. And then if we drop the Gargoyles, what does that actually get us? So 35 plus 85 would be 120. 120. Oh, wait. Minus 35 equals 85. Yeah. Okay. So 120 points. So we could do... I don't know. Raveners are cool. I do like Raveners. Drop the Lictor in 1 unit for Uppy Downy. Bye, Martin. I'm glad you were hopped in, man. Get some sleep, dude. It was good to see you. 35 points. What kind of helps with like dealing with mortals? We have a Biohorror, right? Okay. Incredible. Thanks, Martin. See ya. 120 points. We are going to do that, you know, and if it ends up not being the best idea, sorry, but we are going to drop the gargoyles and see what we can squeeze a little bit more out of this list. We could do, I do like Raveners. I think Raveners are super cool, but then if we do Raveners, then we're also in this awkward position of, you know, not having enough like points, because we'll have 30 points left over. And what do you do with 30 points in Tyranids? And honestly, I don't even know. 120 points. We could Ripper for all fronts and reserves. Yeah, maybe. Go really goofy and add a Tyranid. Where's Hollow? You'd be like, yes! Lose a Lictor and get 6 more VRL. Yeah, but I really like Lictors. I think Lictors are incredible. Ripper Swarms. Okay, so we could do... All right, so... Oh! Now here's the thing. I like Neurolictors and Vanguard Onslaught, but I also like more things. All right, so we're going to downgrade that Neurolictor one more time, and I apologize, but we're going to be at 150 points. And then, and I actually feel pretty good about this, we're going to do Raveners times 3, Raveners times 3. Do you need 4 Lictors? Yeah, that's a great question. And also, we have 3 Lictors here, and then Death Leaper. So even if we cut that Neurolictor, we still have 4. This is what I would do with it. I think it's pretty sweet. Another question is you could put 2 Raveners, or you could do a 6-mana Raveners instead of the 3-man. That could also be a pretty good idea as well. I thought we were going to see a 3rd Moloch. I'm sorry, dude. We're not going to see a 3rd Moloch. All right, everybody. Quick stream tonight, but I really do appreciate everybody hanging out. Wednesday, I will be on stream. I will be playing Assimilation Swarm unless something catastrophic happens. So come on in. It'll be a great time. I think we're still doing peppers for super chats. Good Lord. But if that's something that you want to see, come on in. And it'll be a great Assimilation Swarm list. I'm very excited about it. You will see this Norn Assimilator on the table. It'll be incredible, and he certainly won't die. Right, chat? All right, everybody. Take it easy. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging. See you next time. Bye.